Eastern Wyoming from Torrington in tonight's Region 9 North Conference matchup. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll start the broadcast now. We have about 3 minutes left here in warm-up before tonight's matchup here in Rustler Gymnasium on the campus of Central Wyoming College here in Riverton. Matchup tonight features the homestanding CWC Rustler volleyball team against the visitors from Torrington, Eastern Wyoming College. I'm Devin Davis. Tonight's broadcast streaming is obviously live, not quite as sophisticated or fancy as we normally have here. The media here at CWC is one of the best in junior college. Tonight, John Gabrielson, who usually does play-by-play, is out of town and asked me if I would fill in for him, and I said I'd be glad to. So we're happy that you joined us tonight in our matchup against Eastern Wyoming College. Just kind of looking at these two teams coming into tonight's game. Eastern Wyoming, which qualified for nationals last year, won the Region 9 tournament held last year in Cheyenne. This year, they come into this game with a record of 7-18 overall. Played some very tough competition early on in the season at several really tough tournaments. Conference play, they are 1-1 here in the Region 9 North Conference. We just started conference play last week, and the gals from Eastern Wyoming College played last week at Laramie County Community College. They lost that first conference matchup 3-1. And the next week they faced off at Western Wyoming Community College in Rock Springs, and they won that one 3-1. So Torrington right now, like I said, overall 7-18 and 1-1 here in the conference. Central Wyoming College started off their conference play last week, also splitting as they traveled to Gillette on Friday night and beat Gillette Pronghorns 3-2. They lost the first 2 sets, came back to win the next 3 to win that first conference matchup 3-2. Then they headed to Casper and played the Thunderbirds, and they lost that one 3-2. Had a pretty comfortable lead in the 5th set and ended up losing a tough battle to finish the weekend 1-1 in conference play. Overall, the Rustlers have a very similar record as Eastern Wyoming does, as they are 7-14 overall, and conference play they're 1-1. So right now we're going to turn it over. We have the national anthem. Athletic Director Steve Barlow about ready to introduce the 2 teams before we have first serve for tonight's matchup.
First from Sweden, number 6, Clara Haugen. From Serbia, number 9, Una Sibic. From St. Cloud, number 14, Umana Usante. From Ames, Colorado, Anathan Cantrell. From Meridian, Wyoming, Savannah Kirkbride. From Transport, Utah, Anna-Marie Huntsman. And from Georgia Hanson. Now for the Rustlers. First number 1, Cameron Dennison. And 730. And 6, Paige Pullman. And 10, Elle Swenson. And 11, Kenny Newsom. 11, number 15, Harry Weaver. And 16, Emily Dan Hunter. And 19, Nick Birch. And number 22, Emily Mann. Now
right, your starters for tonight, as you just heard, from Eastern Wyoming College. May pronounce some of these wrong. Your setter is from Sweden, 5'11" sophomore Clara Hehanen. Outside hitter from Serbia, Una Stepic, she's 5'10". Middle blocker from Florida, Elena Asante. Right side from Rangeley, Colorado, Annika Cantrell, she's 6'2". Middle blocker, 5'10", from Meriden, Wyoming, Savannah Kirkbride. And an outside hitter from Spanish Fork, Utah, Amari Huntsman. Your libero, Rachel Macy from Pine Bluff, Wyoming. And your starters for Central Wyoming College, number 2 is Nora Rasmussen, sophomore from Fillmore, Utah. Number 8, Presley Ryan, a sophomore from Santaquin, Utah, an outside hitter. Lindsay Stewart is our middle blocker, number 12. She's from Vernal, Utah. Rachel Workman is a right side from Mapleton, Utah. Quincy Matthews is our setter. Lena Whitney is a middle blocker, and Hallie Reeder is the libero. The first serve by Quincy is an ace serve. Coach for the Lancers, George Hamilton. For the Rustlers, Kim Davis. Middle set goes across the net, set up to Nora Rasmussen, and it's blocked down by Annika Cantrell for the Lancers. Score 1-1. Just starting the first set here. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, John Gabrielson gone. This is Devin Davis. Serving number 9, Una Stepic, sophomore. Returned over by Lindsay Stewart. Outside set, hit. Falls down in front of Reeder. Nice outside hit that time by Huntsman. Serve goes out of bounds. Service error, point Rustlers. All tied up 2 apiece. Stepping back to serve for the Rustlers, number 2, Nora Rasmussen. Nice serve. Bump set by Macy. And Huntsman just couldn't quite get underneath that one, and that's an attack error on the Lancers. Unfortunately, and you could probably see that from Nora's face, is that was a extremely long serve, out of bounds. Back to serve, Rachel Macy. Hallie Reeder up to Matthews, outside to Workman. Nice kill, saved and dug up, but not able to tip over. Checked into the game. Nope, sorry, that was Elena Asante from St. Cloud, Florida. Missed the tip at the net. Rustlers take the lead 4-3. Hallie Reeder, Hallie Johnson, I should say now. Right side, partial block, tipped over by Presley, and then back down. I think that was Asante with the tip back over on the Rustlers side. All tied up 4-4. Couple of subs. 18, Lola Hughes from Nevada. And number 12, Tessa Kilchinman from Australia. Hard hit by Lena, partially blocked back down on the Lancers. Nice tip that time, saved by Workman. Set from Matthews outside to Presley Ryan, dug up. Now it's just a 3-ball. Workman to Matthews. Kill goes out of bounds that time by Presley Ryan. Lola Hughes is a setter, 5'9". Serve to Rasmussen, outside to Workman, sends it deep, dug up, bump set outside, that goes deep, but Russers aren't covering that back corner very well, and it goes deep to the far corner, and the score is 6-4. I called her Hallie Reeder. She is now Hallie Johnson, got married in the offseason. Nice pass, middle outside to Presley. She hits it hard, and it's going to be called out of bounds. They say, the line judge says that it hit the outside antenna. Just tipped over by Workman. Hard hit on the outside. Blocked back over, but hit the antenna. And just like that, it's 8-4 in favor of the Lancers. Timeout will be called by Coach Kim Davis, with Eastern Wyoming College leading right now 8-4 here on your scoreboard. No advertisements tonight, so you guys are stuck with me. Good crowd tonight, especially considering it's homecoming here at Riverton, Wyoming. Homecoming in Lander. Women's basketball team, men's basketball team. Good crowd here on hand. Lancers with the serve after a timeout called by Central Wyoming College. Service goes short over the net, saved by Rasmussen. Up to Lena, and she nails it. Nice one-handed set that time by Quincy Matthews. Right where Lena Whitney needed it to be, and she pounds it over, side out. Now checking into the game is Coco Dennison, a freshman defensive specialist, and she serves that one into the net. Huntsman back to serve. 5'10", sophomore, Spanish Fork, Utah. Nice set to Presley Ryan, gets it over. Hard tip to the back corner, saved by Rasmussen, blocked back down by Presley Ryan. On the kill by Presley Ryan, so point goes to Eastern Wyoming, and just like that, they've doubled up. CWC 10-5. Rasmussen to Matthews. Whitney with the tip, dug up outside, off the black, and falls inbounds. Central Wyoming right now just not really in sync with each other. Things are going the Lancers' way here early in set one. Short serve, Whitney to Matthews, outside to Whitney, blocked back down. Coco with the save. Just 3-ball over to the Lancers. Middle set, tipped back down. No block in the middle there on Asante. And Huntsman is serving. Johnson with the serve receive. Presley Ryan, just a roll kill shot, I guess, if you will. Not a great set that time, but Presley made it work, and side out, point goes to CWC. Presley will serve. Middle set that time, partially blocked by Whitney, but it stays on CWC's side and goes out of bounds. Elena Asante, a 6'2" freshman from St. Cloud, Florida. Serve to Dennison, Matthews outside. Rasmussen tips it hard. Dug up in the back. Hit over by Asante. Matthews is going to hit it deep in the corner, and it's in. Great court awareness that time by Cwc to realize that the Lancers had kind of all moved to one side of the court, and she just kind of a set to the opposite side. Lena with the serve. Brought to the middle, outside. Una Stepic, she's one of the best in the country. Sophomore from Serbia, and she was a big reason that the Lancers had so much success last year. And she's still in the front row. Serve goes way out of bounds. I'm just going to say her first name, Clara, I can pronounce. CWC has a Swedish player also, Ellis Finson. That's a whole lot easier to say. Quincy Matthews with the serve. Nice serve outside to Stepic. She just realizes that she has a block and hits it hard into the deep corner, and Presley Ryan tried to save it, and it goes out of bounds. Fortunately for CWC, Stepic now back to serve. Pass goes to the middle, set to Lindsay. Stewart, who's checked into the game, dug up. Now outside, saved by Matthews. Johnson with the set to Rasmussen. She sets it far side, and the libero can't quite get two arms underneath that one. Macy tried, but just got one forearm underneath it, and it went out of bounds. Rasmussen serving. Checked into your game is Rachel Workman and Lindsay Stewart, along with Ryan in the front row. Nice hard serve, saved by Stepic. Nice block in the middle, back down. Not quite sure who got that one, but I think it was obviously Lindsay Stewart or Presley Ryan, and those two round. Nice deep serve again. Outside set, tipped back down. Try to push it across, middle set, and that joust at that time at the net. Won that time by Presley Ryan. Yes. See, I don't know that part about it. It's not showing up on here. It was on there. Because that's what we had trouble with last time when John and I did this, and we did something to fix it. But I don't know what he did.
He's in Mexico. So just say we're having scoreboard issues and just say the scoreboard.
Okay. Serve goes out of bound that time. Streaming is working awesome. You get tons of angles for the action out here. Right now, though, the scoreboard is having some issues, so I'll try to keep you up to date as often as possible on the score. Johnson back serve, nice hard serve to the middle, setting up Asante. Oh, good try by the Rustlers. Couldn't save that one and get it back onto the other side, and the score goes 17-12. Lola Hughes, 5'9" from Las Vegas, Nevada, serving for Eastern Wyoming, goes to Rasmussen. Nice pass to Matthews. Middle set, hard hit by Lena. Brought back up. Right side, set. No touch is going to be called. Kill goes out of bounds. Attack error on Eastern Wyoming. Point Rustlers. Workman checks out. Coco Dennison in. Nice serve this time. Asante, hard hit. Nora Rasmussen tried to dig that up but couldn't save it, and it's 18-13. Coco is from Mapleton, Utah. Went to Maple Mountain High School. A freshman here at Central Wyoming College. Now serving's Huntsman. And nice call that time. That was a close one. Nora backed away just at the last second, and it ended up being the right call as that ball goes out of bounds. Hard serve by Ryan. Outside set to Stepik. Tipped back down, and it goes out of bounds. Little tight set that time, but Stepik made the best of it. Didn't get a really good swing at it, just tried to tip it over, and not enough on it to block it back down, and it rolls out of bounds. Point Eastern Wyoming. It is 19-14 in favor of Eastern Wyoming. Dennison with the pass. Matthews set outside to Lena. She nails that one, but it just goes long. Asante will serve with a score of 20-14. Goes to Dennison. Set outside to Nora. And that kill is going to go off the antenna. Second time that's happened for Nora, and timeout is going to be called by the Rustlers with the score 20-15 in favor of EWC. All right, welcome back here to Riverton, Wyoming in this first set between Eastern Wyoming and Central Wyoming. Eastern Wyoming is up 21-14. Served by Asante. Outside to Nora Rasmussen, and she finally gets a good swing and a kill on that one. Point Rustlers. Lindsay Stewart checks back into the front row, one of the best blockers in the nation. Lena Whitney, hard serve. Outside, right side. And that's going to be called out of bounds on Eastern Wyoming. Or again, the line judge is going to say that touched the antenna. What a serve by Lena Whitney as that skimmed off the top of the net, made it a little more difficult to return. A serve by number 25. Rustlers kind of gradually sneaking back into this one. 21-17 in favor of Eastern Wyoming. Another nice serve goes to Stepik. Set outside, Stepik takes a swing. Brought up by Ryan. Matthews outside to Nora Rasmussen, hard hit as she goes, read the court, read the block really well, goes to the opposite side. And looks like the antenna may not be in line. So between the line judge and the officials on the other side, we're trying to get everything lined up okay. Probably the best thing to do is what they just did. Grab the tallest girl on the floor and let her help you. Lena Whitney back to serve, 21-18, Eastern Wyoming. Serves to Stepic, outside set, hits it hard, blocked down that time by Matthews and Lindsey Stewart. Timeout called by Eastern Wyoming as Central starts to plug away at that lead, and it's 21-19 here in the first set in favor of the Lancers. Back here in Rustler Gymnasium, this is Devin Davis standing in for John Gabrielson, trying to stand in for him. Right now, Central Wyoming on a roll. Lena Whitney serving. Going to set Stepic again, and she hits this one into the net. Attack error. They keep setting Una because she's their best hitter. But a couple of great big blocks by Central, and it's 21-20 in favor of Torrington. Nice serve. Going to be brought up by Whitney. Matthews outside to Rasmussen. Nice dig that time by Asmera. Stepic at the middle. Stewart blacks it back down. Right side, kill. Goes off of the block by number 12, Tessa Kilchinman. She's a 6'1" freshman from Bridgetown, Australia. Good run by the Rustlers. Side out, though. Point goes over to the Lancers. 22-20. Clara from Sweden back to serve. Goes to Johnson. Matthews middle to Lindsey Stewart, and she just pounds it. Nice, quick middle set by Matthews to Lindsey Stewart. Dennison out, Rachel Workman in, and Matthews back to serve with a score of 22-21. Nice middle set that time. I think it caught the Rustlers a little off guard. They went to Cantrell, but she hit it out of bounds on the near sideline, so it's all tied up 22-22. And that's a nice floating serve, and they're going to dig that up and go to Stepic. Saved back down, dug up by Rasmussen. Going to go outside to Rachel. She pounds that one. Dug up by Eastern. Tipped back down. Not a very good swing that time by Cantrell. She's a lefty, and at least that's what she swung with that time. And CWC was ready for that, and CWC takes the lead 23-22. That time, Stepic is money as outside set and kill goes right between the block. Side out, point to the Lancers, and it's 23-23. Nice job by Nora. That set was, Quincy had to work hard to dig that one up, and a little bit tight to the net, but Rasmussen made a nice adjustment and made Eastern pay for it. Right now, Central Wyoming with the 24-23 lead. Set point here. Nora Rasmussen serves it. Nice serve brought up by the libero. Dug back down, saved by Stepic. Again, tipped off, brought up by Matthews. Nora with the bump set. Rachel Workman brought up to the net. Outside, blocked back down onto Eastern side. It looks like it's going to just be a 3-ball. Brought up to Matthews, outside to Presley Ryan, and it's blocked back down. Rustlers had a huge opportunity right there, but a good block put up by the Lancers, and it's 24-24. Service goes over, brought up to Workman. Nice hit. Number 6 tried to save it. She couldn't quite do it, and that's a point. Rustlers, nice hard hit by Rachel Workman from her right side position. Johnson back to serve. Rustlers leaving 25-24. Brought to the middle. Middle set by Asante. Blocked back down onto Torrington's side. Now left-handed kill. Blocked again. Another attempt right side. Off the block. Presley Ryan is going to kill it, and it goes out of bounds on the block. First set goes to the Central Wyoming Rustlers. Great job that time as they fell behind big time early. EWC had all of the momentum. The Rustlers never gave up, just kind of chipped away point after point after point. Started their game going. Looked a lot more dominant at the net. Did a great job of blocking and ended up pulling that one out with a score of 26-24. That was set number 1 here in Riverton, Wyoming. Thank you again for tuning in this evening to Central Wyoming Athletics. We don't have any fancy streaming program tonight like we usually do. We sure appreciate everything the media department does here and all the camera angles that we have going on. Everyone that's helping here tonight. Love doing volleyball. This Central Wyoming team is a lot of fun to watch. Big crowd, more people start to roll in. So I think that's a huge step to get that win, that first set win here tonight. So we're just going to kind of turn it over to some crowd music and kind of let you go grab a drink, some popcorn, and come back for the second set. This is Devin Davis, CWC Athletics. All right, we're about ready to start the second set here. Set number 1 won by the Rustlers, 26-24. On the floor for the Rustlers, same starting 6. Stewart, Workman, Rasmussen, Ryan, Johnson, Matthews. EWC serving the ball to start with. Their setter, Clara from Sweden, back to serve. First serve off the top of the net, dug up, goes to Rasmussen, and she hits it hard, cross court, and falls inbounds. Great first point. Rasmussen back to serve. No, wow. Nobody even there. We had two Lancers, number 20 Huntsman and Stepik that kind of looked at each other. Beautiful serve, deep corner. Another one, same place. Stepik with the pass, tips it over. Right side to Workman, hard. It's going to go up and hit the ceiling. It's going to be brought back over, and 3-ball. Johnson to Matthews, outside, no, middle to Stewart, and she just bumps it over. And kind of caught the Lancers off guard a little bit. Set was kind of a little bit off, kind of went between the outside and the middle. Nice serve again that time by Nora. Just brought back over, middle that time to Ryan. But that was a great play that time, as we had Presley and Lindsay in the middle, and they were struggling to figure out who was there, but I didn't see that. But it's going back to the Rustlers. I didn't see what was called that time, but we'll take it. 4-0 in favor of the Rustlers. And that time Stepik just shoves the ball into the block. And that's a side out point. EWC, Stepik back to serve. Ryan to Matthews, outside to Workman, just nails it. Rachel Workman has been swinging so well on the outside. I definitely have some partiality here, but I think that Rachel is probably one of the best right sides in Region 9. Johnson serves it. And Doug, wow, that time hit, swing on the outside by Huntsman, blocked back down by the Rustlers. And one of the best offenses for a volleyball team is a good defense. And that time, big block, as the Rustlers do frequently in their matchups. Saved by Johnson. Presley Ryan with the swing. Nora Rasmussen sets to Workman, hits it hard, opposite side. Dug up by the EWC, outside swing, left-handed, goes off the block. Kill that time by Annika Cantrell from Rangeley, Colorado. She is a lefty. I mentioned that earlier, and I can verify that now. Now back to serve. The libero here is from Belgrade, Serbia. She did play most of the first game, is Vladana Ristic, and the serve goes out of bounds. I might have given you the wrong information looking at it. Their liberos are 23-3. Vladana Ristic is a 5'3" sophomore from Belgrade, Serbia. Coco Dennison into the game. Nice serve, goes deep. Kill is going to go out of bounds. Oh, a touch is going to be called? Touch was called by the line judge, and from the expression on the CWC bench, I think that was probably the right call. We do have replay now if they wanted to challenge that, but they're not going to. Into the game's number 18, Lola Hughes, 7-3 in favor of Central Wyoming. Good serve outside to Ryan, Presley Ryan. And that's going to go out of bounds. Attack error by Presley. 7-4 in favor of the Rustlers. Lena Whitney with a hard swing, but big block that time by Elena Asante. And Eastern kind of claws their way back into this one after a pretty comfortable lead. Goes off the top of the net. Nora's going to hit it over. Off balance that time. The set was kind of off the net, and Huntsman tried to make an adjustment. She just couldn't get all of her swing behind it. Tipped back down by the Rustlers. Side out point. Presley Ryan will serve. Nice serve. Outside, partially blocked. Dug up by Johnson, set Matthews outside to Laney Whitney, and she had a nice swing kill on that. Went off the block, but went deep. Eastern couldn't save it. Point Central. Thanks again for tuning in tonight here at Central Wyoming Rustler Volleyball in Riverton, Wyoming. Tip over, Coco in the right spot, outside to Nora, and she just nails that one. Lola Hughes tried to dig it up, couldn't do it. Point Rustlers, 10-5. Again, thanks for tuning in. It looks like we got that fixed on the scoreboard, so you don't have to listen to me. Score is correct on the scoreboard. Nice serve that time. Rasmussen hits it deep. Brought up to Asante, off the block. Matthews with the outside set. Nora Rasmussen hard into the block, but it goes down on Eastern Wyoming side. Middle set, Asante had to adjust that, and heads up play. Just tips it into the corner. Rustlers didn't make the adjustment, and side out, 11-6 in favor of CWC. Serve goes to Presley, and it goes off of her knuckles. She has to laugh about that one. 11-7, ace serve for Huntsman. Utah well represented on both rosters tonight. Outside swing by Nora. Stepic swings, partially blocked. Coco Dennison. Now middle to Lena. Off balance. Back now. Save by Johnson. What a dig. Nice heads up play by Matthews. Another attempt that time. Same thing, Johnson with the save. Nora Rasmussen hits it deep, and nobody has that corner covered. Again, a roll, kind of a roll shot. She took some swing off of that one, as she knew she had a pretty hard block up, and just kind of rolled it over the top of the block and found the deep corner. Good rally that time by both teams. 12-7. Whitney serving, Stepic outside. Saved by Ryan, middle to Lindsay, tips it back corner. Now back again to Stepic, blocked back down. Gonna try the right side, blocked that back down that time. Lindsay Stewart, solo block as Tessa Kilchman tried to swing at that one from her right side. Didn't get a really hard kill on it. And it was blocked by Lindsay Stewart. There's a kill by Stepic. Nice hard swing and kill. Side out goes over. Number 14, Elena Asante. She's probably digging Wyoming right now, but give it another month or two and she'll wish she was back in Florida. Nice save by Coco. Roll shot over by Presley. Outside to Kilchman, and it goes out of bounds. Attack error on the Lancers. Asante out of the game. Ledana Ristic back in, the libero. Serving will be Quincy Matthews. First set won by the Rustlers, 26-24. Nice save by Matthews. Nora Rasmussen goes to Rachel, gets it over, back to Stepic, tipped back over and blocked down. That time blocked by Rachel Workman, as Una didn't get a great set and she tried to tip it over and it was blocked by the Rustlers. And it is 15-8 here on your scoreboard. Second set, Central Wyoming leading. Timeout called by Eastern Wyoming. Coach George Hamilton will take a short timeout too. All right, welcome back here to Riverton, Wyoming. Region 9 North Conference Junior College volleyball action. Second set, CWC leading 1-0. Matthews with the serve. Kilchinman gets it over, partially blocked. Set to Workman, off the block, saved. Outside to Stepik, she's going to swing hard, partially tipped. Middle set to Lindsay Stewart, and it goes out of bounds. First set, just looking at some of the stats here. Una Stepik led Eastern Wyoming with 5 kills. She had 12 attempts. And on the Rustler side, Nora Rasmussen with 4 kills out of 7 attempts, hitting .429. Eastern Wyoming serve goes to Presley Ryan. Outside to Rachel, serve saved up by Nora. Try it again, tips it over. Outside block, dug up, nice job that time by Olive Osmera. And Lindsay Stewart's gonna save that one, goes deep. Outside swing, nice left-hand swing. Best one we've seen by Annika Cantrell. And that rally kind of went back and forth, a lot of scrapping by both teams. Nice save that time, as that looked like a sure kill. Olive Osmera from Torrington, Wyoming, a DS freshman, 5'7". Blocked back down. Nora hits it deep. They save it this time. Stepik is going to hit it hard. It goes out of bounds. No touch. Didn't look like there was a touch. There wasn't a really great block that time. And so she kind of had an opening there. She just hit it too hard and went long. Rasmussen, oh my gosh. She's got the number over there. She couldn't have taken that ball and placed it any better. And that's an ace serve by Nora. 17-10. Another serve, nice rifle serve. Stepik tries to hit it. Nice save by Johnson. Going to set Presley Ryan. And great job by the Lancers to save that one. They were just going to try to get it over, and that back row hit from Eastern went into the net, so it is 18-10 on that error. Brought over Rasmussen, Matthews, right side, Workman, nice dig. Ristic with the bump set, and that time Stepik, another attack error, and it is like that, 19-10. Rustlers tend to kind of back off when they get a lead. We've seen that a little bit. We saw that in Casper, and so they need to keep the pedal to the metal, as they say, and nice save that time. Nora Rasmussen with a nice hard hit. Saved in the back row by Eastern, but that goes right up and ricochets off of one of the beams here in the gymnasium, and it's 20-10, and we have a timeout called by Eastern Wyoming. Score here in the second set, 20-10. Rustlers won the first one, 26-24. Just kind of looking at some stats here from that first set. One of the kind of errors, glaring errors, I guess I would say, is that you can see that the Lancers, Eastern Wyoming, had 4 service errors in that first set to only 2 by CWC. Service aces, another big difference, as CWC had 2 service errors, one by Quincy Matthews, one by Lena Whitney. And there was not a service ace, excuse me, I said service error. There was not a service ace by EWC. So a couple of definite deficiencies. If you look at that, that's about a 6-point swing based on errors and aces. Thanks again for joining us tonight. This is Devin Davis. Live action here from Rustler Gymnasium on the campus of Central Wyoming College. Nora Rasmussen serving to Stepik. And kill goes out of bounds. Looks pretty darn close that time. Swing by Cantrell, 21-10. Osmera with the pass. Nice job that time. Sorry, I lost it, just kind of watching instead of talking. Great job that time. Stepic had a nice swing at it, saved by the Rustlers. And it is 22-10 with Rasmussen still serving. Into the game is Addison Rollins. She's a 6-foot sophomore from Worland. Service error that time by Nora. Her arm got a little tired, I think. Ball goes over to Eastern. And Stepic is your server. To Rasmussen. Kind of a overpass that time at the net. Quincy tried to save it, but just tipped back down, and it's 22-12. Service again to Rasmussen, outside to Ryan, dug up by Ristic. Nice swing that time by Huntsman, blocked back over, but it goes out of bounds. Serve goes again to Rasmussen, to Presley Ryan. Off the block. Clara tried to save it, but it went out of bounds. Point goes over to the Rustlers, and it's 23-13 with Hallie Reeder Johnson serving. Goes to Ristic, middle, off the tip. Addison Rollins, smart heads-up play. Good block that time by the Rustlers, and she just tipped it off the block. 23-14, Ristic will serve. Again, she's the libero from Belgrade, Serbia. Hard serve to Rasmussen. Matthews outside, hard swing by Presley Ryan, but too hard. Serve goes to Presley Ryan. Matthews right side. Rachel can't get around her, just tips it over. Right side tip that time brought up by Johnson. Good swing by Matthews. Right side again. Hard hit, but off the block. And it's 23-16. Coach Kim Davis has said we're not going to let this get closer than it should be, and so she's going to call a timeout, and we're going to take a timeout here. I'll come back to you just here in a second. This is Devin Davis, and this is CWC Athletics. All right, after that quick timeout, Rustlers lead 23-16. Lancers with the serve. Ristic goes to Rasmussen. Nice pass, going to set outside to Rachel Workman. And they're going to call 4 hits that time as Rachel kind of buried that one into the net. And all of a sudden, it's 23-17. It looked like CWC had a pretty comfortable lead. And as they kind of tend to do, as they back down a little bit when they get that lead. Rasmussen to Matthews. Middle to Whitney, saved by Stepic. Just going to be a 3-ball. Johnson to Matthews, middle, outside set to Whitney. And she's going to hit it too hard, and it's 23-18. Momentum changes in this game, as you can see right now. Serve goes to Rasmussen. Matthews is going to set Nora. Just tips it over. Outside swing, and it's in. Right now, things going all Torrington's way. And Coach Davis is going to make a substitution as Sarah Maservi checks into the game in place of Lena Whitney. Sarah is also a sophomore. Ace serve that time. 23-20. Another timeout is going to be called by Coach Davis. 23-20, and the wheels kind of falling off right now for CWC. Nice serving job. They're really picking on Nora Rasmussen in the back row. Also Presley Ryan. CWC, though, has had several chances, just can't convert on any of those. And the Lancers have climbed back into this one. Your server is still Ristic. Goes to Presley Ryan, and she comes back to her outside position and makes that one count. 24-20. Set number 2, set point. Coco Dennison checks into the game for Workman. Maservi stays in the front row with Presley Ryan. Dennison goes deep, and they're just going to have to save that one and go 3-ball over. Johnson to Matthews. Not a good set. She tips it over middle. And not very good communication at the front, as we're not sure where that set was going. It made an adjustment, got it over, but just kind of out of sync. 24-21. Lola Hughes back to serve for Eastern Wyoming. Goes to Rasmussen, to Matthews, and to Sarah Maservi. Tips it over, dug up, blocked back down onto Eastern side. Over to the Rustlers, back set to Nora. Deep hit. Brought up by Stepik, middle, saved by Dennison. Matthews, back row set, and back row attack by Nora Rasmussen. Hits the tape, falls over onto the other side, and that set number 2 goes in favor of Central Wyoming. 25-21. CWC leads this one after having a cushy lead there. I mean, they just couldn't do anything wrong. I don't have that in front of me. I do know that at one point in time it was 20-10. So the Rustlers had a comfortable lead, and unfortunately, I think one of the Achilles heels of this team this year has been the fact when they get a lead, they sometimes struggle to keep that lead. But a big enough lead that time by Central Wyoming to pull out that win, 25-21. So we have about 2 minutes left here between set 2 and set 3. I'm just going to take a short break. Thanks again for joining CWC Volleyball here. This is Devin Davis. All right, ready to begin set number 3 here. Just looking at the football score here on County 10 as Riverton hosting homecoming against the Buffalo Bison, and right now in the second quarter at Wolverine Field, it's Riverton 27, Buffalo 0. Both teams in action tonight here at the gymnasium on the campus of Central Wyoming are 1-1 in conference action. Big game here tonight as Matthews steps back to serve. And they're going to try to tip it back over. I say try because Lindsay Stewart is in the front row for the Rustlers, and she tips that back down. That tip was attempted by Cantrell. 1-0. Nice hard serve. Stepik outside tip that time by Rollins. Rollins couldn't get a swing on it, so she tipped it over, and it just didn't have enough power. Went off the block that time on the Rustler side. Side out, point goes to Eastern Wyoming. Service error that time by Una Stepik. Nora will serve. And that goes over the net. She's got lucky the last 2 times she hit the ball over the net to end that second set on her back row attack, and that time her serve tipped off the net and couldn't be dug up by the Lancers. And another one off the net. Dug up that time by Nora. Nice outside set to Presley, partially blocked. Ristic with the bump set outside, and nice hard kill opposite side by Cantrell. CWC can't save it, and it's side out, point to the Lancers. Have to admit, lived for quite a while in Wheatland, so for some reason I want to call them the Trailblazers. Nice serve that time, tipped over by Matthews. And Matthews is going to be called that time for the back row attack. Boy, Vladana Ristic has our number. Nice serve that time, and I thought that was going to be an ace, but it is called out of bounds, fortunately for CWC, and Johnson back to serve. Floats that one. Hard swing, blocked down, saved by the Lancers, going to be tipped over. Johnson to Matthews, right side to Workman, and she had to make an adjustment, and it goes off of the block of Asante. There's just not some good communication going on right now, as a few of the sets just misread that time, whether it's the setter or the hitter. But fortunately, an adjustment that ended up in a point for CWC. Tipped over. Brought up by Johnson, middle to Whitney. Tipped back over, saved again. That time by Matthews to Presley Ryan. She hits it over. Middle to Asante. Makes an adjustment, just tips it down across or around the set. Point Eastern. Checking back to serve is Lola Hughes. Soft serve goes to Ryan. Outside to Workman. Nice hit. And somehow, great job by the Lancers to get it back over. Hard swing by Ryan, and good dive by Ristic, but it goes off of her arm out of bounds. Point Rustlers. Dennison back in. Coco, or properly named Cameron. Nice serve. Right between two Lancers. That was between Huntsman and Stepik, and neither one They kind of just look at each other. Another ace. Out that time. That's a pretty close one. Cameron tried to put it in the same place, just went a little bit long that time. 7-5 in favor of the Rustlers. Serving's Huntsman. Goes to Johnson. Matthews right side. Nice hit that time by Presley Ryan. Seems to happen a lot of times. You get a nice kill, you step back to serve. And that's what exactly happened this time as Presley Ryan will serve. Goes to Stepik, not a good pass. They're gonna just have to tip it over. Dennison to Matthews, right side to Rasmussen, and blocked it back down that time by Asante. Nora didn't get a really good swing on that. 8-6, Asante will be serving. Nice one. Nice serve that time as along the far sideline, went over Lena's head, and just a tough one to dig up. Serve receive for Presley, and it's 8-7. Kind of same place. Coco sets it. Nice pass, nice set. Nora Rasmussen with the kill. Lena will serve. She's a sophomore. Checking into the game is number 10, Kylie Honstein from Pavilion. Saved up by Lena. Matthews with the set. Roll that time by Rasmussen. Nice adjustment by Osmera. She just couldn't quite save it in that campfire area. Roll shot. And it's 10-7. Goes to Stepik. Nice swing that time. Really hard one. She swings. When she swings, she hits it hard. And there was a good block that time by Lindsay and Quincy. But it went sideways instead of the other way. And Clara will step back to serve with the Rustlers leading 10-8. Goes to Presley. Another hard hit. Man, Nora, she's not very big, but she has a great vertical, and when she gets everything behind it, it's got a lot of velocity to it. Coco checks out. Rachel back in. Quincy back to serve. And that was a tough one. The set went wide. Stepik was out of bounds, tried to make an adjustment, but when she tried to hit it back, kind of roll it back to the other side, it hit the antenna. Out of bounds, point Rustlers. Went deep off kind of the shoulder of Stepik, tipped over, outside to Rachel, blocked out of bounds. Hard swing by Rachel. I think Eastern, it looked like that was going to be a good block, but I think that's a good call as the block went out of bounds. Nora had 10 kills in set number 2 out of 17 attempts. CWC middle to Lindsay Stewart. It's going to just be tipped over, saved by Rachel. Outside, another kill by Rasmussen. That time, Eastern had a hard time knowing where that set was going to go, as there were 3 possible options at the net, and a nice kill that time. Into the game, Jaylee Critchfield from Evanston, Wyoming. She's 5'5" setter, freshman. and Quincy hits that one into the net. Back in is number 20 for the Lancers, Huntsman. Serving is Stepik. 14-9. Goes to Johnson. And Nora with another kill. Sorry, that wasn't Nora. That was that Nora? Nora goes back to serve. Sorry for not paying attention. Nice serve by Rasmussen. Saved by Presley Ryan. Johnson back to Presley. Now Ristic with the bump set. Nice hard swing that time. Kill by Huntsman. Great adjustment by the libero to get that ball to Huntsman for the hard kill. 15-10. Serve goes to Johnson. Middle to Rasmussen. Outside to Cantrell. Oh no. As Lindsay Stewart goes down. Lindsay's our middle blocker, and you can tell she's wearing a brace on one knee. She had an ACL repaired last season, two or three tournaments into the season, and she's going to go down here. I'm not quite sure what happened, but it doesn't look like she's feeling very good. We're going to take a timeout here as things kind of settle down here a little bit. You're listening to CWC Volleyball. Rustlers lead this one 2-0. Third set, 15-11. We have an injury on the floor. We're going to take a little timeout here. As you saw here just a couple of minutes ago, injury for Lindsay Stewart, and they helped her off the floor. It looks like her left knee, and had surgery a year ago on her right knee, and walked gingerly off the floor. We can just hope that that's not a serious injury. She's been a huge part, but fortunately for the Rustlers, Sarah Maservi back into the game. She's a senior and is a great backup, sometimes starter, and so will fill in really well here for Lindsay. Service to Rasmussen to middle. Nice job, and goes to Quincy Matthews, who sets Sarah. Great way to get her into this game, and she delivers with a kill, and Rustlers take the 16-11 lead. Just due to the rotation, she's going to check out of the game. Lena's going to check in. Hallie Johnson with the serve. Nice, tough serve, and it's just going to be Free ball over. Presley Ryan with the nice kill. And it's kind of pinballed around that time by the Lancers, and they couldn't save it. 17-11 here in favor of CWC. So a couple of different ways a team responds to an injury like that. They step up and play harder, or they shrink back, and right now CWC doesn't seem to be missing a boat. Partially blocked that time off of Lena, and Rachel goes out of bounds. Killed that time by Huntsman for Eastern Wyoming. Lola Hughes will be back. Right side, checking in is Kylie Honstein from Pavilion. Matthews, right side, off the block. Nobody was going to block that one. Rachel got a full swing on that with only one block over there. Huntsman tried to block it, went up high and out of bounds. And it's 18-12 with Coco Dennison. Nice deep serve, middle to Asante, and it goes out of bounds. She had the right idea on that. Really quick middle set, great communication that time. It just went out of bounds, and with the score of 19-12 in favor of Central Wyoming, Coach Hamilton calls a timeout for Eastern Wyoming. I just kind of wanted to cover, we didn't get many stats in that first or that second set. Leading the Lancers was Stepik. She had 7 kills out of 24 attempts. Elena Asante with 5 out of 8 attempts for the Rustlers. Like I mentioned, Nora Rasmussen, 10 out of 17. 6 kills by Presley Ryan out of 17. Let's see here. We're back to some action, so we'll go over this as time allows. 4 service errors, service aces, excuse my language, for the Rustlers. Dennison serves it, goes deep. Gonna save that one. Ristic's gonna 3-ball it over. Dennison pass to Matthews, nice outside set to Presley, and she hits it hard. That was pretty tight to the net. Presley made the most of it, hit it hard to the far side, inbounds, 20-12. Asante tipped back over by Matthews, partial block, gonna set outside again. And that's called inbounds. I think that kill was a little deceptive. I thought it might have been off the antenna. I think it was just off the top tape. Point Eastern. Nice serve. I didn't know if that was going to make it over the net. Really, she took a lot off of that one. Hard adjustment that time. Ace serve. Little harder to Johnson. Matthews outside to Presley. Dug up by Ristic. Stepik partially blocked. Matthews tips it over. Nice job. Bump set. Partially blocked. Saved by CWC. Tips it back over. Outside to Stepik. Saved by Johnson. Nice rally here. Matthews out to Presley Ryan. Dug up by Lancers. Stepik. Oh my gosh. Coco Dennison with a kill. Your DS just saves it, hits it back over the nets. Didn't mean to do that, but nobody was there for Eastern, and it fell right between 2 Lancers. When things go right, they go right. Presley Ryan serving. Partially blocked, back down, outside set to Stepik, and she nails that one. Asante, freshman, 6'2", from Florida, serve, goes to Dennison. Blocked back down to CWC. Back row attack. Brought over by Ryan. Asante bump set to Stepik. Partially blocked. Saved by Ryan, but not quite enough. And that's going to be a point for Eastern. 21-16. Lead is not quite as comfortable this set as last set by CWC. Serve goes to Dennison. Nice pass, middle to Whitney, and she nails it onto the other side. Number 11, Addison Rollins, blocked it, but it came back down on her side right in front of her. Point CWC. Whitney will serve. Not good serve receive. It's just going to be barely brought over. Dennison middle, tipped back over by Rasmussen. Nice job keeping it out of the net. And that was just kind of, again, pinball. And great play by Stepik, but she really couldn't do much else. It just kind of went back and forth over the net. She hits it hard into the deep corner, and the point goes over to the Lancers. Serving is Jaylee Critchfield. 22-17. Serve goes to Coco. Has a hard time saving it. Saved by Sarah. We'll see what happens here. Stepik hard hit. Saved by Presley. Matthews outside to Rasmussen, who hits it too deep. 22-18. Critchfield still serving. Goes to Johnson, to Matthews, outside to Nora Rasmussen. Nice save by Ristic. Left-handed kill at the right side. Middle to Maservi, and she just read the block and the defense perfectly. She used her vision, saw the open spot, and put the ball in that spot. 23-18. Heads-up play by Maservi. Matthews back to serve. A serve. 24-18. Set and match point for the Rustlers. Goes a little deeper, hard serve received that time by Stepik. Stepik with the hard swing, partially blocked by Maservi, but not enough. Side out, point goes over to the Lancers. Stepik goes back to serve. CWC won the first 26-24, second 25-21. And Presley Ryan, you heard the bench yelling out. Presley wasn't sure, so she tried to save that one. And I think that was probably a good call by Presley. I don't know if that would have been out. Goes to Presley, to Quincy, and Rachel. Nice swing. Ristic brings it up to the net. It's tight and tipped back down on the other side by Nora Rasmussen. Set number 3. Match goes to the CWC Rustlers against EWC. We're going to just take a quick break. I'm going to try to have some stats. So I'm going to take a break. We'll come back here to Riverton, Wyoming, as the Rustlers won this conference matchup against Eastern 3-0. So we'll tune it off here for just a second. I'll be right back. All right, welcome back here to Riverton, Wyoming, on the campus of Central Wyoming College, as the Lady Rustlers, or the Rustlers, won this matchup against their foe from Torrington, Wyoming, the Eastern Wyoming Lancers, in 3 straight sets, and it was a great one. A lot of fun here tonight in the gym, as the Rustlers got down pretty big in that first set, but just chipped and clawed their way back. Ended up winning that one in extra points, 26-24. Were in control pretty much the whole set number 2, although they did let Eastern kind of climb back into that one. It was a lot closer than the score, but CWC won that one 25-21. And this third set was a little bit more comfortable. I think that was probably the most comfortable win by the Rustlers, as they won 25-20 against Eastern Wyoming. Possible tough loss for Central Wyoming, as it appeared that Lindsay Stewart went down with a knee injury, her left knee. She had surgery on her right one a year ago, and they helped her off. She was able to put a little bit of weight on it. You could tell it was very uncomfortable, but I guess anybody out there that says a few prayers for her, I'm sure we'd appreciate that. Lindsay's a great kid, just awesome. Was leading the nation for a while in blocks per set. She's a big part of success here at CWC. But I just wanted to go over a couple of sets of stats in set number 3. Una Stepik again led the Lancers with kills with 11 out of 34 attempts for a percentage of .176. Great game that time, though, in the third by Huntsman, as she had 10 kills out of 25 attempts for a hitting percentage of .280. On the Rustlers side, their leader was Nora Rasmussen with 15 kills out of 28 attempts. Her hitting percentage, .429. That's incredible. Great job. She only had 3 errors. 9 kills by Presley Ryan, and out of 25 attempts, a .160 percentage. Rachel Workman was 6 out of 20 attempts for a .250. So a great job that time. 39 kills by the Rustlers, 37 by the Lancers. Again, I think one of the big errors was in the serve area. Service errors by the Lancers, 7, 5 by the Rustlers. Service aces, the Rustlers stepped up big time in those 3 sets. Started off a little soft, came back, served really hard in the second and third set. They had 7 service aces. The Lancers with 4. Let's see here. So there were also another big number as stuffed blocks was 6. Lindsay Stewart with 3 of those, and only 1 stuffed block by the Lancers. So that was a big part of the game. And as always, the Rustlers kind of owned the net, and they have done that throughout the season, and it showed tonight. Best offense is a great defense. So big wins tonight by your Rustlers, and gives them a record of 2-1 here in conference play. Tomorrow they will host another big matchup here at Central Wyoming Gymnasium, as they host Laramie County Community College here in the gymnasium. Laramie County tonight is in Powell and playing the Trappers, and they'll travel tomorrow. The first serve is at 2 o'clock, so I'd love to see everybody head out here to the gymnasium, support your local junior college team. Great job tonight by the Rustlers, and they're 2-1 in conference. And big matchup tomorrow, always a big one as you play LCCC. L-Trip always has a great program, and I think it's always a kind of a big rivalry. So just hoping everybody heads over here tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow. You had me tonight without John Gabrielson, and hopefully got the job done. It was a great win by the Rustlers, and hopefully another one tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow for video live streaming. Great job by CWC and all the people that helped out with this. Great job by the media department here at Central Wyoming College, and I was just blessed to fill in for John Gabrielson tonight. No place I'd rather be than watching Rustler volleyball. So again, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you join us again tomorrow, 2 o'clock Mountain Time here in Riverton, Wyoming, for more Region 9 junior college action as we turn this over back to you enjoying your night as the Rustlers win this one 3-0 over Eastern Wyoming. Thanks again. This is Devin Davis. Talk to you tomorrow.